Talking, never ever doing. Facts in your face, blacks never cluing. Fortress gate on your mind, you won't let ruin. Blame outside yourself, worldly life ruined. Emotion bubbles and troubles, volcano mouth spewing. Left flat like Montserrat when democracy moving. Vaporization at female welfare centers. Get blasted as you enter, won't get to spend a cent or a dollar. I guarantee you won't even holler or feel it. Stiff from shock, bystanders won't believe it. Hammers cock, G20 scene. Corral the shadow like herds of cattle. Wasting energy, struggling not for battles. Pointing fingers, complaining about conditions that you help to implement and put yourself in. And trust, put your wealth in. No rush, don't procrastinate, cause they stealthing. Liquidating government.
Islam, Morris.
Islam.
Islam. We're starting up as usual class. We're gonna do audio with Sister Anahita. We're having some problems with the computer, internet, so we're gonna go over a couple of things that we spoke about that we're gonna go over with Anahita, which is let me get one of these. Pass those out. Supposed to be 3 pages. First thing that we're gonna touch.
Some people make off.
We have to as Moors in Canaanland, we have to remember and always keep in mind that there's been a lot of activity going on before we came into the fold, right? Before we started getting on knowledge of self, there's been a lot of activity by Moors who we consider our master teachers, etc. So about a week ago, Southern Poverty Law Center put out a list. Southern Poverty Law Center put out a list of the so-called leaders of the sovereign movement. Right? The Southern Poverty Law Center is these haters that always try to find something negative to say about people who are doing things progressive. And Southern Poverty Law Center takes the position that anybody who's doing something progressive for humanity is anti-government. Right? So this so what I'm gonna read is I'm gonna read the little blurb that they have on leaders of the sovereignty movement, right? And maybe about halfway down the list was Nature El Bay and Taj Tariq Bay, Ashbury Park, New Jersey, right? Quote, Lord Nobles, right, so they acknowledge their titles and who they are, right? Even though they're de facto fraud or whatever. Lord Nobles Taj Tariq Bay and Nature El Bay are two of the leaders of a rapidly growing black nationalist religious movement called Moorish Science Temple of America, part of the larger and expanding phenomenon of black sovereign groups. The group considers itself sovereign in that it counsels followers to pay taxes to the temple rather than to the IRS. Like other sovereigns, members do not carry state-issued driver's licenses, but instead use temple identification cards, and when charged with crimes, consider themselves to be outside the jurisdiction of any federal, state, or local court. The group markets itself primarily through booklets and videos posted on YouTube, and its sovereign schemes have been spreading rapidly in the last 2 or 3 years through the nation's urban neighborhoods and prison system. Right? Any comments before we continue?
Who is it that put this out again?
An organization called Southern Poverty Law Center.
Based on where?
Virginia or can't remember.
How long ago
Pull
did
that
that come
up
up?
fast and see if it comes up. Southern Poverty Law Center.
When did they put this statement on?
This statement's probably been out. It doesn't say it on the website, but it's fairly new. Like it wasn't there about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago.
One good thing about the letter, it's grown rapidly.
Right.
That's a great thing.
What's the,
Southern Poverty Law Center.
of the movement or
No, just the
Not the part that is in
website,
the
so
other
we
one.
can see where
Oh, no.
who they are.
website or?
Who
They
they
also
are.
did
I was
mention
gonna go to
that,
YouTube.
Yeah, no, Southern Poverty Law Center. Right.
And that's a good thing that we're growing rapidly.
Right, yeah, right. Leaders of a rapidly growing black nationalist religious movement called Morris Temple of America. Right,
and they're claiming that we're acting outside of the law.
right,
Yeah.
they're claiming that
But,
we're acting outside of law,
And if we're
right?
outside of the law, then all these nationals that were behaving in that manner would be incarcerated.
Right,
Just
and
getting out of there, right?
second to that too is that majority of the nationals that do get caught up in some type of jail, whatever, detainment, kidnapping, that, because that happens to them doesn't mean that they're wrong, right? Or that they're anti-anything, right? Like they're saying that, or like what Brother Talassi was saying, that the movement's growing rapidly. So,
That's making me nervous.
yeah, they have to put their propaganda out in order for the ignorant people to have the assumption that,
Yeah, because in their
These people are
world,
doing
in
something
their
wrong.
world, they're accusing us of a fraud.
right, they're accusing us of fraud when they're committing fraud. So, or just where they're at, where their offices is, and whatever, a little brief on what they are, or who they are, or whatever.
This is who's making these allegations?
Yeah, Southern Poverty Law Center.
Okay, so. Contacts. Okay. They're out of Washington Avenue, Montgomery, Alabama.
Oh, no wonder. Y'all come back real soon now, you hear?
Yeah,
We
Montgomery,
might put their
Alabama.
contact number information out there too, so Morris could start writing these people.
Okay,
Yeah,
well, yeah,
that's what I was gonna
they're
say.
400 Washington Avenue, Montgomery, Alabama,
What's the-
36104. And if you want to call them, it's at 334-956-8200. Or you can check out the website.
Yeah, the website.
The website is splcenter.org.
And can't people get sued for slandering? Or,
Information.
Oh, yeah,
yeah. Wouldn't you call that slander?
yeah, for sure.
When were these people
Defamation too.
established?
When was it?
Established,
Been around for a little bit.
who we are, board of directors, for what we do, get information.
So obviously, you know they
Is there
don't.
any temples in that town,
Yes.
in that state?
Oh, yeah.
When did this,
Okay, a history of protection society's most vulnerable. The Southern Poverty Law Center was founded to ensure that the promises of the civil rights movement became a reality for all. By the late 1960s, the civil rights movement had ushered in the promise of racial equality as new laws ended legal apartheid in the United States. But the new laws had not yet brought the fundamental changes needed in the South. Blacks were still excluded from good jobs, decent housing, elective office, a quality education, and a range of other opportunities. There were few places for the disenfranchised and the poor to turn for justice. enthusiasm for the civil rights movement had waned, and few lawyers in the South were willing to take controversial cases to test new civil rights laws. I mean, just reading those 3 paragraphs right there, it's...
So, is this a black group?
Sorry?
This is a black group?
Well, that's a good question.
No.
Now, let's consider who's black, right? Now, you look at the senior program staff,
No,
okay, and you have, I'm looking at 7 staff members, 2 are white, and 5 are black.
Okay. That's-
yeah. But for the ones that don't know,
And it's real
For the
meaning.
ones that don't know, 2 are black and 5 are white. So,
and this is a law firm.
this is, well, it's not a law firm, it's more or less a center.
So, when did this thing come out?
Ninth.
You read?
And the thing that I read probably about a month ago, 2 months.
And they've been established since when?
1960s.
So, isn't the temple been around longer than that?
Been around longer than them. But
And when the temple was around, even when they got established, didn't they know the temple was around?
right now, that
they say
stems the what they put out stems from the suit that Taj and Nature filed in 2005 against Asbury Park Police.
Oh, that's why it came from.
That's why
there.
they're talking big,
Also, now they're
because
targeting them too.
they're
much.
trying to target them as, because they're you can say that their case went the furthest when it comes to the Moors versus whoever, right? That was one of the most publicized, one of the most public record cases that are available in the whole Americas in regard to somebody suing these people for violations.
With the
So-
mystery, yeah.
Ashbury?
Yeah, Asbury Park,
Asbury Park.
right? So the reason why now the claims that they made against Taj and them, sorry.
They made it.
The claims that they made against Taj is based on the defendants, who were them, right, saying that the case was, their argument was diversity. Their argument was that these people who say that they're Moors can't come and sue us because we're diverse nationalities, right? And they weren't suing in order to get some check. They were suing because they were being denied their rights, due process, etc. Right? So in Marsh Guidepost 2006, what Taj and Nature did was that they put the suit in the newspaper to make a public record so that everybody has access to how to draft up a suit, right? So Great Seal, Moorish Science Temple of America Incorporated, plaintiffs versus State of New Jersey, Asbury Park Police Department, Sergeant John Broyles, Officer Joseph Spalina, Officer John Sosdian III, Patricia Green, Court Clerk, Wall Township, Police Departments, Sergeant Lancelotti, Sergeant Broccoli, Jim's Towing, Richards Auto Body, defendants. Note, the plaintiffs. For the public record, the plaintiffs, demandants, Moorish Americans have not seen nor communicated directly with the European Jean Prater District Judge, nor have the plaintiffs, Moorish Americans, been availed access to the United States District Court for just and due process of law to be heard before the people of our own national peers, and to be afforded redress and remedy for the multiple torts imposed upon Moorish Americans, individually and collectively, by way of the private law individuals and by anti-constitutional corporate entities and employees, imposing customs and superseding their jurisdictional or alleged delegated political and/or law powers and/or authority. The plaintiff's defendants filed a writ of mandamus in the nature of removal complaint to the United States District Court at Pennsylvania Commonwealth due to continuous hindrances, diversions, and abuses experienced locally and coming from openly hostile pseudo-government persons. The untoward dispositions of the clerks and other state employees and officers appeared predisposed and orchestrated, affecting due process and blockage of the Moorish Americans to access to the courts of proper jurisdiction. In New Jersey territory, the hostility, disrespect, bias, national discrimination, and prejudice against Moorish Americans / plaintiffs was made absolutely clear and apparent. So this is from 2006. So 2006, they put out the writ of error, right? And when we're studying the activities of the colonizers, right? Don't think that because they stopped messing with you that they left you alone and they're done with you. This is 2006.
And that's 6
And then
years.
2013, they're coming up now. The same case, which is already done public record, there's nothing even to bring up,
And what came out of that though?
right? Out of
This,
the suit.
and yeah, the out of the suit.
Yeah, they got their right back,
6 years later, they want to come up.
right?
Yeah.
You know? But this is just to show that once we stand up for nationality and birthrights and we exercise certain things, they're going to do everything in their power to try to counteract it.
6
That's
years
the only,
later.
and there's no grounds for them to counteract it
6 years later.
because they claim diversity, right? Their claim is that we're not kin.
Not the same.
We're not the same. So you can't come at me, I can't come at you because there's a treaty. If a Moor should wound a European, if a European should wound a Moor, etc., then it's cancelled. Because there's not supposed to be this back and forth happening,
Slave trade.
right? Like it's not supposed to be going on, right? And the only reason that it's going on is because we've allowed it to go on. We haven't been as active as we should have been. You know, like, so for example, this is Taj and Nature. These are some of the two most active Moors that we know. And in 2013, they're coming at them for some stuff in 2006.
Yeah, 6 years, 6 years
Right?
later.
That they already, you know, the process has already gone through. Right? Letting us know that they have their eyes on the Moors.
Oh yeah.
And they're looking at the Moors. Regardless of what we call ourselves out there, that we think, we're Wapian or, with the Moorish, or we're not Moorish American, we're Moors because ish and whatever. They're looking at us as we're one people.
Well, they know the land of Islam, and they know Moors, and they know with our rise is their fall. And this is not anything personal, but it's our awakening. Once you start coming to your senses.
And then also too, keep in mind that when we went for the Taj and Nature lecture in Asbury Park, is when we got this, the actual paper, right? And Grand Street Nature had stacks of these piled up, right? Grand Street Nature had stacks of these piled up because it says right here, on the second page, every member of the Moorish Science Temple of America is asked to subscribe for the Moorish Guide. The subscription price is $60 per bundle. Make all money orders payable to Moorish Guidepost. After your subscription is subscribed, the Moorish Guidepost office will mail your paper to you each issue. All advertising, correspondence, and news for publication should be in the office of the Moorish Guide publication no later than the 31st of each month. All grand sheiks, assistant grand sheiks should send their photographs for cuts to be made so that their pictures can appear in the Moorish Guide from time to time. Send money order with each photograph payable to the Moorish Guidepost. Any member of any temple may send their photographs in also by order of the Prophet Noble Ali.
Islam.
Right? So the request was sent out that Moors support the paper. Right? And Moors didn't support the paper. And because Moors didn't support the paper, or the word didn't get out there to the people through the correct channels, because as we said, these are some of the Moors. If you're going to be down with any Moors or rep any Moors, these are some Moors to be down with.
Islam.
Because they've been doing the work for decades, right? With results, positive results, right? Now, some of the things that they present in the paper, just so we can see, so we can make a decision for ourselves. Are these brothers or is our family's claim unintelligible? Or are they actually speaking in favor of government? Right? So in the suit, there's response and objections made by the plaintiffs. And there's 19 sections that they address. So we're just gonna read a couple of these so we can get the perspective of why they filed the suit. 10. Moorish Americans, the demandants, have and possess the divine, inalienable, and substantive rights to reclaim, to declare, to use, and to state for the public record our own proper person names. It is our divine right to declare our status of the state. We retain and preserve the right to use our own names and to transact business in our own free national names absent of suppression. If the European Judge Prater can produce valid proof of law to the contrary to the foresaid, then he has a right and a legal obligation to put that information confirmed of such a law to the pen and post it in the public record. At this time, it does not exist. If the indigenous peoples are violating constitutional law by claiming their own names and nationality according to the European Jean Prater, then the Englishman can take on the personal and official liability by placing his signature on an official public document and enter it into evidence, since he has apparently and contentiously signified against the Moorish Americans nomen corrections consisting of not using the European misnomer brandings and by initiating a corrective change back to their own Moorish Asiatic names. Right?
Islam.
So if the position of the de facto, if the position of the de facto is to say that, well, they were in error, right? Because they were using these names that we don't know, LB or whatever, we don't know what those are. Why is Southern Poverty Law Center posting their free national name? Why aren't they posting the straw name?
Because they don't want to get sued again.
Right? Why aren't they posting the straw name? They're posting the straw name because everybody has a right to nationality.
Yes.
And once you publicly declare it, right, once you put
All the other rights that go
it
with
out
that.
there, everything that goes with that
Stand.
applies to you. And notice that this is the document that they sent, this is the suit that they filed at the court. Keep in mind that every time they identify the judge, they put European there in the suit to show that their suit is even diversity. Because why is this why is it diversity for when we sue them, they're gonna say diversity. But they're coming at us based on diversity. They're Europeans and have no jurisdiction, and they're just supposed to say, we can't deal with this. Sorry. And that's it. But it doesn't go to that. It doesn't go to that level, because the activity of the Moors, right? The activity of the Moors isn't just court. The activity of the Moors is out here as well. You don't have to go to court to be active.
It's not.
You don't have to, have Moorish plates to be active, right? What we have to do is recognize that things are happening, things are going on that are in our favor. We have to acknowledge these things that are happening in our favor, like them posting this thing on Southern Poverty Law Center. And we can say that, yeah, it's slander and whatever, but really, they're recognizing the Moors.
Exactly.
They're acknowledging the Moors, they put the Moors on their website. Regardless of what they're saying about them, the names up there are elevated.
The energy's out there.
That's an acknowledgement,
Yeah.
right?
And they know we're growing at alarming rates.
And saying that too, out their mouth, that it's growing, right? A resolution. So 13, a resolution is a public notice and formal expression of the will and opinion of an official political body or public assembly, adopting by vote a legislative resolution. The United States District Courts and its membership are well aware of Resolution 75, as issued by the House of Representatives of Pennsylvania, State Commonwealth. This is public record. Resolution 75 is, in essence, an acknowledgement of the contributions of the active Moorish American society dwelling in the territory at Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and acknowledging the Moorish Americans' positive civic contributions to the community, and confirms the Moorish Americans' right to their own names, and further acknowledges the Moorish Americans' right to use their own Moorish titles and religion, etc. The Englishman, Judge Prater, being a member of the District Court of Pennsylvania, under the authority of the United States, cannot truthfully feign ignorance of that public record. Prater cannot claim that Resolution 75 is unintelligible or that it is not a public record, evidentiary document. Right? And then that goes right in line with all the proclamations from all the different mayors across the country from last year, came out acknowledging who Motu Proprio is, acknowledging that he's the prophet, acknowledging that this land belongs to the Moors and that we're the founders of civilizations and all that. Right? And it's put out in brewing signature by those mayors.
What did you say that the resolution 75 was?
Resolution 75 is Philadelphia. You can just Google Resolution 75, it'll come up. Right?
Right.
No, I was gonna say let's read Motu. And then
What's that?
read Motu Proprio. Yeah. No, right here.
You want to see it?
You got one?
Okay. I'm going to be reading. It's an apostolic letter issued Motu Proprio, which basically means a motion by the pontiff, the Pope himself, of the Supreme Pontiff Francis. It's on the jurisdiction of judicial authorities of Vatican City, state in criminal matters. Okay, it says, in our times, the common good is increasingly threatened by transnational organized crime, the improper use of the markets and of economy, as well as by terrorism. It is therefore necessary for the international community to adopt adequate legal instruments to prevent and counter criminal activities by promoting international judicial cooperation on criminal matters. In ratifying numerous international conventions in these areas and acting also on behalf of Vatican City State, the Holy See has constantly maintained that such agreements are effective means to prevent criminal activities that threaten human dignity, the common good, and peace. With a view to renewing the Apostolic See's commitment to corporate to these ends by means of the apostolic letter issued Motu Proprio, I establish that 1. The competent judicial authorities of Vatican City State shall also exercise penal jurisdiction over crimes committed against the security, the fundamental interest, or the patrimony of the Holy See. Crimes referred to in Vatican City State Law V111, I forgot which numbers that is. Sorry?
8.
Yeah, 8 of 11 July 2013, containing supplementary norms on criminal law matters. In Vatican City State Law number,
Sorry, where are we?
that's 9,
Nine.
right? 9 of 11 July 2013, containing amendments to the Criminal Code and the Criminal Procedure Code. When such crimes are committed by the persons referred to in paragraph 3 in the exercise of their functions. Any other crime whose prosecution is required by an international agreement ratified by the Holy See, if the perpetrator is physically present in the territory of Vatican City State and has not been extradited, the crimes referred to in paragraph 1 are to be judged pursuant to the criminal law in force in Vatican City State at the time of their commission, without prejudice to the general principles of the legal system on the temporal application of criminal laws. For the purposes of Vatican criminal law, the following persons are deemed public officials: members, officials, and personnel of the various organs of the Roman Curia and of the institutions connected to it, papal legatus and diplomatic personnel of the Holy See, those persons who serve as representatives, managers, or directors, as well as persons who even de facto manage or exercise control over the entities directly dependent on the Holy See and listed in the registry of canonical juridical persons kept by the governorate of Vatican City State. Any other person holding an administrative or judicial mandate in the Holy See, permanent or temporary, paid or unpaid, irrespective of that person's seniority. The jurisdiction referred to in paragraph 1 comprises also the administrative liability of judicial persons arising from crimes as regulated by Vatican City State laws. When the same matters are prosecuted in all the states, the provisions in force in Vatican City State on concurrent jurisdiction shall apply. The content of Article 23 of Law number, that's a big one, CX1X of 21 November 1987, I'll look that up later, which approves the judicial order of Vatican City State remains in force. This I decide and establish. Anything to the contrary notwithstanding. I establish that this apostolic letter issued Motu Proprio will be promulgated by its publication in the Observatore Romano, entering into force on the 1st of September 2013. This was given in Rome at the Apostolic Palace on 11th of July 2013, the first of my pontificate. And this is from Franciscus. When they were set up for?
Yeah, that's a different one.
Oh, just a
Right,
different.
okay, so what I just wanted to touch on was Curia. So the Holy Curia.
Curia?
C-U-R-I-A.
Roman Curia.
Roman Curia, sorry. Roman Curia. In all European law, a court, the palace, household, or retinue of a sovereign, a judicial tribunal or court held in the sovereign's palace, a court of justice, the civil power as distinguished from the ecclesiastical, a manor, a nobleman's house, a hall of a manor, a piece of ground attached to a house, a yard or courtyard, spellman, a lord's court held in his manor, the tenants who did suit and service at the world's court, a manse. In Roman law, a division of the Roman people said to have been made by Romulus. They were divided into 3 tribes, and each tribe into 10 curia, making 30 curia in all. The place or building in which each curia assembled to offer sacred rites, the place of a meeting of the Roman Senate, the Senate house of a province, the place where the decurions assembled.
Islam.
Right?
It's a Roman Curia.
So the Pope put his position out there. And keep in mind, this is after getting the proclamations from Taj and Raz and with R.B. Bey, right? 2011, when they put out their proclamation to everybody on behalf of the Moors, because they realized that some Moors who are heads in the temples aren't going to do what they're supposed to do and do that. By putting all these people on notice that they have all these members in their temple and that all these members are protected, whether it's because they have a regency or because they, whatever they're exercising, right? The obligation is of the head or the heads to put out Motu Proprio, right? Which hasn't been done by certain individuals. But then, you don't see those individuals coming up on Southern Poverty Law Center because they're not active. They're not doing nothing. So nobody's paying them any mind because there's no need to pay attention to you guys because you're serving no purpose.
Exactly.
Right?
As long as you stay a social network, just
Right.
have your tea and your little get-togethers, we'll leave you alone.
Exactly. Right? Pleasant Bay and Marsh American National Government, they put out a proclamation to the Pope, Barack Obama, whoever, everybody sent Pleasant Bay's book to Barack Obama, to the Pope and all that. So they're familiar. We might not accept that we're familiar to them and that they know because they haven't come out and said anything, that, well, yeah, we received the documents from these people to let us know. But that's what this is.
Islam. That's what this is exactly.
That's what this is.
They're saying to themselves, the gods are waking up, and we cannot ignore it.
Right? And not only can't they ignore it, but they have to put the obligation back on the people. Because freedom's everybody's job. And when the Pope, knowing his track record and the history track record that they have, and they're coming out talking about everybody who is a member of the Roman Curia, that you know, that's the only way you're gonna be protected,
Yeah.
if you accept, or if you become part of that fraud. Right? The only way you're gonna be protected is if you become part of that fraud. That's a global, what's it called when they were getting people to convert
Oh,
from whatever religion they are into,
It's first
we
assimilation.
joke about it all the time.
Yeah,
Jeez,
right?
getting saved.
Right?
Not
Yeah, basically,
Oh,
right?
getting saved.
They're putting out their saving power to
Yeah.
those individuals who want to remain de facto, who want to remain straw people, who want to remain colored, Negro, black,
Yeah.
whatever. If you want protection, come get down with the Pope,
Yeah.
right?
Come get
But
converted. Yeah.
Also, they're actually also giving the free people free reign to go after anybody
Yes. The
who
Savior.
is claiming to have some type of authority or whatever the case is.
Because they don't want to be responsible for the because they know exactly what's really going on by
Right.
Allah.
Right.
And they know they're waking up after Taj and them all, Pleasant Bay sent out what they had to send out. They're like, oh, jeez, we thought they were asleep.
You know what? Though it's not just us, you know, Moors who are waking up. I mean, they have their own people in society, or people who live within their society that are waking up too. You know, and they're doing their own movement, but you know, it's working for them. You know, they're claiming, so like, I was watching Jordan Maxwell the other day. They have their own package. You have Tierra Dean Clifford or whoever who has his own stuff, but they're more and more people are waking up
All
to the
that's,
fraud.
yeah, but all
You know.
all that stuff there, sister, came from Moorish knowledge. All the
But I'm
sciences.
saying that other than us, there's, you know, it's global, you know, like
Yeah.
people are waking up.
Well, the
that,
lead,
you know,
the
of
lead,
what's going on.
The lead always been awake,
Yeah,
but all that stuff they're awakened to is your science.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I mean, but I'm just saying that that's more. It's more individuals
We're the only ones really
waking
asleep.
up and putting pressure on them. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also too, that's why, you know, you like when you go on YouTube and you're checking out, you know, sovereign people and they're exercising certain things. The guy has a camera and you know he goes to court and you know it just runs smooth.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Their stuff just runs smooth. They don't have no problems like when we go to court.
Kidnapping
trying
judges
to
and stuff.
Exercise rights. Their stuff runs smooth.
Because in
Right.
London, they kidnapped the administrator.
Yeah. Sis, you had a comment or a question?
Oh, yeah, no, I just want to express my experience.
I was gonna go there actually, but yeah.
Yeah, like, I mean, according to this letter, the way I understand is like any government or any authority, so-called authority, is a de facto, you know that.
Right.
And when they are having something against your free will, you could hold them for accountable.
Yeah.
And the way I understand this letter is they lift up the protection for them. And some people may know it or may not. Like Canada and the United States is registered, it's a corporation, it's registered under the Vatican.
Yeah.
So when the Vatican put out this letter out, which means like the Obama and all the upper people, like including the judge,
Right.
like including the prime minister and
Yeah.
all that, they no longer can go to the Vatican to seek protection and say, I'm working for you guys, like protecting me, like I'm just doing my job, like even though I committed crime.
Yes.
So,
Hang them out to dry.
Yeah.
right?
Roman
But,
civil law.
but as of September the 1st, this protection is gone. So that's why Obama is still hesitating to go to the war. Because he knew if he gonna do it, ignore the congressman and ignore everybody, he gonna do it because he's a puppet.
Yes.
He's a puppet, and he have no choice. He have to obey the the banking cartel, the Rockefeller child and all that.
Yeah.
They put pressure on him. And then also he debating his own life is in the state. If he gonna order and say gonna bomb Syria, and humanity is gonna indict him and gonna hold him for accountable.
Right.
Since the Pope have to let us lift up and say, I'm no longer protecting you guy criminal
Right.
activity.
Exactly. And then and to put that
Yeah.
in parallel with all these politicians on this side
Yes.
retiring early.
Like,
That's why they're jumping ship because
Yeah.
they know that they're not gonna be protected.
yeah.
They know
Like,
that when we start suing these people,
yeah.
they're gonna have to answer or go back to where they come from.
Yes. Like my experience was when I was in court, the August the 20, I hang the letter to the judge before I'm leaving. And I say, I'm just gonna put you to a notice, I'm gonna sue you for against humanity, the crime you committed.
Yeah.
And so before I leave in the courtroom, and he told the lawyer, he said, can you guys please have a conversation and settle your situation outside the court? I got nothing to do with it.
Yes.
And he told me to settle with the lawyer. And I say, no, I'm pursuing you.
Yes.
I'm having
So,
I just got her registered into school, and I think I shared that with you, right? The problem I'm having. I mean, I had to go see the principal, and they were forcing.
Yeah.
They're obliging my daughter to apologize to a teacher for saying that she thought that the teacher was mean, right? So I went in there, you know, my stuff, and I went, listen, my daughter has freedoms and she has rights, and she's expressing it. So, you know, that can't fly. Period. And they were getting.
Mad, the principal.
Didn't like it.
Yeah.
He's trying to tell me in my school, and I said, are you saying that you're not subjected to law because this is law here? You know, and I brought it to him, and he's like, well, I don't know, I'm gonna stick with this, so, you know, I'm taking her out of that school, period, but, you know, it's everywhere. It's everywhere you go, that's like the most basic.
And that also
Levels.
comes back to what we were saying about putting them on notice.
Yeah.
But putting the world on notice of their criminality.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because
What is that?
if a so-called principal is gonna back her shutting up, and you can't talk about, you know what I mean, you can't
That's
express
exactly what
yourself
I
or
said.
whatever, right? Then he's in violation.
Exactly. I brought him, like, and I'll bring you the copies too, because I put them on some huge notice on every single
Yeah,
level.
he didn't even look at the paper.
And
Yeah.
Universal
He just-
everywhere.
yeah,
put them
he didn't
back.
look at the
No,
paper, he
he
just-
scrolled through.
he scrolled through the
and then
top.
he had the audacity to tell me, because we did the paperwork and witnessed it with, you know, thumbprint sealed, everything. Well, this is not sealed, and this is not by a
Legal
lawyer, and I
document,
go, I do
yeah.
not need an attorney or a lawyer. I go, this is a legal document. I suggest you take a double look tonight with a glass of wine, you know, and a hot bath. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know.
Because all the stuff that we put out there, you know, things that we put them on notice or whatever, is a teaching tool for them as well, as a scolding for them. You know, as we're slapping them up with, you know, we know the law, it's also a teaching tool for them. For them to know that, well, okay, either I'm gonna straighten up my act and how I'm dealing with things, you know, or even if it's just specifically these children, well, everybody else, they can get the nigger treatment, but
Yeah.
we're gonna have to deal with these children differently, you know what I mean? Have the meeting, you know, and everybody know, make sure, you know, we need to say hi in the halls and all that stuff, because we don't want any problems with this family,
Exactly.
you know what I mean? You got a question? No?
Yeah, you know the song "Don't Wake Me Up" from Chris? Huh?
No, I don't, sorry.
The song, like, it means like don't wake up the world.
Don't wake me up.
Boy, younger on fire. Boy, younger on fire.
Thanks, man.
Well, it was pretty wrong.
Comment, question?
I was saying about what you were saying about the politicians, they're quitting early,
Yeah,
but what is the statute of limitations on fraud?
0.
Right, so it doesn't matter if they quit early or not. Can you go back, can you go after them anyway?
Oh, most definite, but I mean, again, it comes back to the diversity, that if they go back to where they come from,
But they're not.
right? Yeah, I mean.
They won't go back to where they come from.
Like, meaning that we don't even know if that's Stephen Harper's real name.
Right.
Yes.
What? We're not.
His
What,
name could be whatever,
whatever. But still, we're going after what? We're going after him professionally
right?
and personally. So it doesn't matter who he
But
is.
see, but that's where the letter comes in.
Right.
That they don't have a professional status. They're inquisitionists.
Okay.
They don't have a status of, well, I was the prime minister of so and so we're gonna go after him in his official capacity as a prime minister. We have to go at him in his private capacity,
Okay.
which is where the letter is going, that they're not being held liable in those de facto positions. So we're gonna have to go for them in their private position, but we don't know their private position, because Stephen Harper could be a fake name.
Right.
So who we suing?
So what's the outcome? What do we do then?
What the outcome is, he's not in power anymore, so why don't we take the reins and do what we're supposed to with this great republic that we have? We don't need their buildings or whatever to be government.
Right.
We have to exercise.
Instead of letting somebody else control our domain.
Yeah.
So I was gonna
Yeah.
say, when you guys were talking about, when you just said, when he said go back and you said they won't go back, but we let them come here, so really we can't
Just kick them
we
out.
try to kick them out, but they are not honoring the original agreement
Right.
or the treaty or the arrangement that we made with them, right? So that's what we have to get them to come back to.
Right.
And once they start doing that, we won't have to.
There's
everything will just fall
no
into
issue,
place.
because
Yeah,
everything's already set up.
That's the
So
first
like,
we should be doing,
so-
putting in their place.
right.
And then-
So
Yeah, but it's like you're saying, they're not held liable, or they're not being, like she said, they're not being held accountable for nothing they're doing right now. It's because of the numbers, really. It's like
Yes, it's absolutely about the number, yeah.
Taj and Nature is saying whatever, and then
since
we're
2006.
we're saying here, well,
Yeah.
it's too widespread, like
Right.
in between there's not enough
Right.
voices.
No, don't get me wrong.
Oh.
Yeah, we
Just want to let you know, sorry to interrupting
Go
you.
ahead. No, go ahead.
We don't, just don't thinking everybody have to wake up, because it's all energy. We only need 12% humanity wake up. We could outthrow them.
Definitely, but even in even
Yeah,
that percentage,
but now
ones
it's
who should be awake
11%.
we still have stuff to clean up amongst the
Yeah.
so-called awake.
Yeah, but the thing is that we
Yeah,
are
fix it,
having
so it's good.
11% humanity waking up right now. So we need another 1 more percent. That's what we need to do. What we need to do, go out there to share the message, to pull people in, to inspire them to join us in this movement. Long as have a 12% humanity waking up, we could outthrow those bankers, we could outthrow the government. So which will be happening in next year in January. So that's why we still need to do the groundwork in the next couple of months. We need to be the change we want to see. We don't need to everybody wake up.
You're right.
Okay, that's the correct information
But
I
it's
got
natural
from
though, not
and,
everybody's in it. It's not
High
forced.
percent.
I don't think it's an overthrow thing though, isn't it? Isn't it like we're replacing them, we're going
It's not
back into
We
overthrow.
use the new
A
system
reclamation.
to
because they're
replace
just
the
using
old.
it.
But
They're just in that
even if
position right now.
even if it
Yeah.
comes across, and even if
Quiet
it
today.
it gives the idea of overthrow. That's what they did to us. So
No, but
Yeah.
We're not
I
gonna-
think
but we're
they
not
can-
even coming
I think-
with-
I think they can use something on us for using that.
no, but I'm saying we're not even coming with that with even the same type of tactics or methods that they used to accomplish what they did. But
Yeah.
ours is gonna be 10 times more subtle. So
I
even
hear
if we
you,
call
but
it
I
overthrow,
think
it's not
we're using a
compared to
lot,
what
so
they
we're
did.
not really overthrowing.
Well, of course
It's
not,
like
you're
we're
right. No,
replacing it with nothing else. You know, we're actually like going back where we're supposed to be. So it's not really.
Yeah,
Because I
totally
think
agree.
overthrowing it, they can use that like
Yeah,
we're trying
no,
to
you're right.
overthrow our own law.
You're
Yeah,
right. You know, no, you're right.
Yeah.
But I'm saying even in the same context of what that word means, like they can't say nothing because they did 10 times worse.
Right.
The more
Just-
they
it's
say,
like-
the worse it gets for them.
And that's why
It's
that
like
letter
when-
came out, because
But the
they know.
thing is, you
what
have
they're
to
saying.
embrace the worst. That's something I learned.
Yeah.
You need to embrace the worst, because it's the
Say
worst
what you
that's
gotta
how
say.
pushing you to seek life.
Yeah.
If the worst and the terrible thing and the cabal and all that didn't show up, you wouldn't seeking who you are. You still gonna be sleeping, just thinking
So the
everything's
worst made
normal.
us better.
Yeah, Actually, we supposed to learn to embrace the worst. The worst is better because it's helping you to clean up what you need to clean up. And we are here to cleaning up our karma debt. Basically, that's why we are being incarnated
so
on
I
this
don't make the same
lifetime.
mistake
So
again.
when we clean it up, we won't be incarnated. We will be immortal forever.
Thank you, because I am not coming back. Too many opinions down here.
I'm not running from nothing.
So what you were saying there goes a lot deeper than that. You can't just say that you're gonna clean up your karma and not come back. Because there's different ways of thinking. You're thinking on one level, which is senses. There's three different ways of thinking. The whole world's been thinking on senses. When you're thinking on senses, emotional, sexual, those are senses, right? You fell because you dealt with senses. That's the whole point. So to come back and say, I'm not going to come back because of karma, no, you're way off. You're going to have to come back for another 50, maybe 100, 300 different lifetimes. So we're going to deal with this right now as Moors. No, you have to. Somebody if you did or not. Because the whole point that you're here is because you fell. Now we're going past. Now we're talking about more stuff. We're going to talk about more stuff. We're going to talk about light and karma. You're going to have to break the whole way of thinking. Not the way you think, the way who you really are thinking. Because everybody says who they are through their experiences on earth. That's not who you are. That's your experience that you're getting on earth. That's through your senses. So until you get that concept of getting out of that way of thinking of senses, then you'll get back to where you are. But before that, now, because everybody deals with senses, right? They think life is about senses, and it's not. That was the fall in the first place, right?
They can't give up.
Desire and feeling.
They can't give up cable.
Right? But it's not even just that.
No, I'm just
You know what I
showing.
mean?
Yeah, I know what you're
That's,
going
it's not even just that.
It's the cheese. I call it the
Anything to deal with
cheeseburger.
senses. Anything that deals with senses.
Yeah, the cheeseburger theory.
And that's the life that we've been living. That's, and we're not here for that. We're not here for that.
We're not here for the cheeseburger. Our ancestors never invented the cheeseburger, but we are the cheeseburger.
You're right, what you're saying. What I'm saying, that's not going to stop you from coming back. If you fix that karma, that's not going to stop you from
Well,
coming back.
maybe we want to come back after everything's fixed.
No, you have to come back.
Like
Because you haven't
not
dealt
go that
with
far.
who you are. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Now.
That's what I'm trying to say. I said
Right.
don't go that far. Just
I
stick
guarantee
with
if we
more
make this place where it's supposed to be, everybody's gonna want to come back.
Well, guess what? This once
Right.
was paradise. There was no third world countries
But what I'm
on this
saying is,
globe.
like I'm saying,
There's only one
three
world.
different things, right? If you're talking about Earth, we weren't even supposed to come to Earth in the first place. That's what I'm trying to show you. So we're going on something totally different.
weren't?
I hear it.
No.
Cause we were stuck on Mars. There's pyramids on Mars.
So I'm saying is, let's deal with more stuff.
Those are other stuff.
Man, let's deal with more stuff. You're talking about light, you're talking about karma, you're talking about a totally different thing,
Right.
right? So let's deal with what we gotta deal with here, right?
And then in our
Right. And
immediate,
that for the children are gonna benefit, right?
right.
And let's
Right.
do that for them.
Yeah, so
You know what I
you have
mean?
to build stuff.
Knowledge war for president. Straight up.
I just wanted to read some of the oral statements and prophecies of Prophet Motu Ali in order for us to see that everything that we see going on right now, he already put it out there for us to know that it was gonna come, and we didn't listen to him, and then now everything happened, right? That he said was gonna happen, which validates his prophethood. That we have to, just like brother saying, stop, and instead of going all over all this other stuff, let's deal with the prophet. Because if we don't take into consideration what he brought and the fact that everything that he brought has manifested, everything that he talked about that's gonna happen, happened, right? But we still sway away from, what he presented. We're gonna continue doing this, running the treadmill and nothing, not having any conclusion, or not reaching the finish line.
Very true. We should deal with it now. Because the whole truth is we know nothing at all. We think we know, but we know nothing at all. We don't even know what's on it. Exactly.
Just got the keys.
We can only assume what's on the next side, if we're gonna come back, if this is gonna happen.
Right.
Deal with it now.
What do you think our first move, like, I know you guys, people have been in it for years or whatever. Some people have been in it for a minute. But right now you think it is to gather more people like Lady here said, or build each other individually to become stronger mentally?
I think both connect.
Yeah, both. It's relative.
And then like, what do we do first? Do we try to be in court all the time, or do we try to? What's the first move, like, to make everybody knows that we're getting
Be yourself.
to be like
Be yourself.
50 years ago? What did they do then that we're not doing now, or we're doing now? That was
50 years
much
ago, we
better.
don't have the means that we
You know
have
what
today.
I'm saying?
If we
Seems to me every time we're getting to a certain amount of level where we can make an impact, they start some kind of war someplace, or some kind of, or they pay off half the Moors, and then everybody disappears for that generation. That's what keeps happening
right.
in our research. So like, what are we preparing for? Like, what, like, do you guys know, like, it's gonna be really, 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 really rough when we're about to, like, do stuff, because they're gonna do everything to keep what they have. Especially the guys, especially the negative ones. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna start World War III, 4, 5, 6 until we all.
Doesn't matter.
So I'm just saying, like, it's not.
Right
Like,
now,
what is
okay,
the next
for
step
example,
for us
right?
collectively right now?
For
Is it
example,
for us
right?
to build ourselves, or keep getting more people?
Look, right now, to acknowledge what you're saying, right? What's the next step for us to, you know what I mean? You know,
Like, are we gonna branch off? Say, okay, you four learn this, you four do this, you four do that, you four do.
yeah, but that's
work
the
as a
that's the
unit, or
purpose of
what?
the temple. The purpose of the temple is to see individuals out there, right, who are vibrating on this frequency, for the people who are in here to go get them people, and then increase the numbers.
I hear what
And
brother's saying.
then once we have the, because you have to remember, this is something that's been going on since 1913. It's not nothing new.
Yeah, I know. They've been, every time we get to a certain level, something happens. Like, they give $100 million to, like, the black corporation, and they run in the place, and then, you know, suddenly, like, Moors are extinguished a bit again.
I think everything is
I
relative.
hear what brother's saying.
Like, they're ramping up this war thing and with this Taliban thing and everything because of this movement, probably, right? And then they're gonna use those things to get everybody all hatred again and all these other things.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. Like, if we are,
Just
if
putting
we're
it
saying
out
that,
there for us.
if we're saying that we're Moors, right? What everybody else is doing out there, there's nothing to do with us.
We say we're Moors right now. They crash the market tomorrow. Everybody cares about eating and stuff. They don't care about nothing else. So they're gonna always put something in front of their fishes. In front of the fishes, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that's because we haven't done what we're supposed to do since 1913.
Yeah, making them parade around.
Like, if we
the Hawks.
if we did what we were supposed to do, right? Motu Ali came 1913, said you're not Negro black colored, right? That's standard. And there's still people saying that they're Negro black colored in 2013. Obviously, Moors didn't do their job.
Yeah.
So
I just don't want to make the same mistakes that.
yeah, so don't.
And most of them are greater than us.
No,
they still made those mistakes.
so don't.
You know
If
what?
we don't want to make the same mistakes, let's not make the same
That's
mistakes.
why we're airing it all out. That's why I'm airing it all out. So.
No?
By you claiming your nationality, because I was there not long ago, I was like, you know, it's not enough of us. We need to, like,
Well, it's
be
not even.
proactive and get more people involved. But you know, I came to the realization that
What if we can't?
unless
What if we then?
unless I do my part and nationalize me and my children, by that everybody and anybody we interact with are forced to accept and realize who we are. And then the question comes, so what are you?
Yeah,
Who
what
are you?
doing?
What is a
Yeah,
Moor?
how'd you get
And then
to
you
that?
start, you know, okay, you give them a little bit, and then as them, there'll be more and more questions. You know, and then you do that affidavit of fact where it says, you know, this is who I am. Then you have everything in there.
But
You know
what
what I
if
mean?
they came with a major counteraction that, I don't know, like give every every 5 men down the street, give them $10,000.
But it's like,
Or
it's like brother said.
they're gonna do something ridiculous
But
to
it's like-
get
but it's like
everybody
brother
to
said,
sign off.
right?
Listen, there was
It's like brother said.
slavery. We came out of, you know, for the most part, we went through some hard times and prevailed somewhat. You know what I mean? So there's more of us than there is of them.
Yeah,
When-
we didn't prevail nothing yet.
No,
Yeah,
but you know what I mean.
but
We
like-
there's it's better than how it was. It went from good to worse to you know to better. But you know, there's I mean,
Now, like for example, right? The black people might have never prevailed since slavery
Well, they
times.
prevailed. They're on top right now, the black people.
Huh?
But
They're
that's,
the ones who run the world right now.
but
no?
that's a perception that you might have that
No,
they're on
These black
top.
people run the world.
Okay, see, that's the
But
thing,
he's
we're
talking
jumping
about the
around.
payoff.
That's okay, right now we're dealing with it on a layman term, okay? Agreed.
A layman,
When we
huh?
say black, we mean NBC,
Yeah,
right now,
we do
okay?
black
We don't
folks.
mean
Yeah.
European or pale face or whatever. We're speaking layman, commonly, alright?
yeah.
Modern. Right? So so-called black people. And there might be an appearance, or let's say so-called white people. There might be an appearance that they're on top. But why are they on top? They're on top because they're using our sciences. Which means they're not really on top. We're the ones that are on top. We just don't know that they're using our sciences.
And then there's like a perception that they're on top, and then we keep giving energy to they're on top, so then they're on
Yeah.
top.
And they're on top.
And our children
You know what I'm
are
saying?
being taught to be dumb. You know, like seriously, they go to school and the educational system is like not helping whatsoever
No,
to
yeah.
realize and know thyself. So, you know,
So,
a part needs
yeah.
to be
The
done.
education system is not there to helping.
No.
It's a program
It's a
for kids
programmation, yeah.
to make them be obedient.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you want to make that
Yeah.
And that's the reason that Noble Drew said that every temple must have a school. So if the temple has a school, then you don't have to take your children over to wherever, right? But if the which comes back to what you're saying, is it an individual thing or is it a group thing? If the individual doesn't come to the realization that, well, you know what, we have a space right here, and I'm not doing nothing on, Friday night or Friday morning. I'll come here and I'll be the principal of the school on Fridays. And then this guy's gonna come and he'll be the principal of the school on Saturdays. And we build based on our individual capacity to want to see things change and want to
Until things fall into
change,
place, I guess.
right? But it's not gonna happen if the people don't do it. It's not gonna happen if you don't do it.
Yeah.
It's
We
like
don't need to pointing finger to wait for someone
Yeah.
or wait for my
Yeah,
husband,
we're
my
still waiting
boyfriend,
on
my
that
sister.
savior.
No,
do it.
the bottom line is to do it, be who you want to be, and be the change you want to
Okay,
see.
perfect example, right? Perfect example. This morning. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
But
Don't
Wait, one
wait
second.
for anybody.
No, go ahead.
Thank you, Telly.
oh yeah, the white people are getting tan because they're jealous of our color.
Yeah, they better tan,
You know what that color.
right? They better tan,
It's a
right?
different
So,
way of thinking, but it's
perfect example, right? Left my apartment today, right? Walking down the hall, and the neighbor, he's out there with a sponge and a bucket, wiping on the wall of the apartment, right? Just wiping on the walls or whatever. Some morning, how you doing? Yeah, see, they give you some work last night or whatever. Yeah, they came and they're doing whatever, running up and down, blah, 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 pop spilled on the wall, so, I'm just cleaning it up, right? Because if I don't do it, nobody's gonna do it, right? He lives in an apartment where he called the landlord come upstairs, clean the wall. But he opened his door, he saw this stuff there, and he got his bucket and whatever inside, and he wiped the wall down. Because he saw it. It's like Brother Taj said, if you see a piece of paper on the ground, you pick it up. You don't start giving orders, well, yeah, I see that paper over there, you go pick that up. If you see it, and that it needs fixing or whatever, then you do it. And that's how we got into the situation that we're in. Because we consent to everything happening to us. That's negative. We never consent to positive stuff. We only consent to negative stuff. Right? Yeah.
I think if you guys had if we had a school here, it would be a big school. I think it would build. I think it would build.
Most
And the
definitely.
more people would want to know what it is and would have more.
Yeah. Like we were here from earlier.
Yeah.
The neighborhood is
Huh?
asking for
Yeah.
it. The neighborhood is
living down the
asking.
street. It's like, yo, all I see is hair salons and whatever around here.
Yeah.
It's really good. You guys got information and books and stuff like that.
They're asking for it.
But again, it comes back to the same thing, that this is one of the major issues that we're having up at the other spot, right? That everybody's hyped for the space and whatever, but when it's time to put the sleeves up and get dirty,
Yeah, well,
handful
because
of people
people
want to
still
get dirty.
programmed to be
Right?
lazy and stuff.
yeah, but again, if you made it this far, you're not supposed to be programmed still. If you made it this far to say,
So it shows you that we still
well,
are.
you know what, I'm not Negro black colored, then automatically
Right.
you're supposed to be moving in the other direction.
This shows you how
You know?
deep their programming is.
Yeah.
Program is
You
deep.
know what I'm saying?
How many layers there are? Because
Still
there's
have us-
still,
have
I
us
still
in-
guarantee that all of us in here is still programmed.
Yeah,
in some
most
kind of
definitely,
way.
most definitely.
Yeah, that's
Right.
what I mean.
You know what I mean? Most definitely. But it's a process, because we all know that you're not gonna learn the secrets of life in 2-hour class on a Sunday. Right?
Oh, never.
It's not happening. All right, so that means we have to have 50 classes a week to get the ball rolling. Not even to really do anything, just to get the ball rolling. We need 50 classes a week. All right, he's doing one class, I'm doing one class. So we got 48 more classes to be running. And that's where it comes into everybody putting their stone so we can build this.
Who represents
You know?
around here? Like, what is it? Like, the mayor, who represents around here? Like, where's the office?
The city
For
council
the
office
city
over there.
people, yeah. Like, for
This
this neighborhood,
area.
this block, this area.
Oh, you mean like in their
Corporate-
thing? Their
corporate
thing.
office?
I already said,
Yeah,
yeah.
No, like
MP.
MP.
Yeah.
MP.
Yeah, when's the last time the mayor went to go check them?
They're
Well-
de facto. We don't need to go to them for nothing.
Well, we should be going to at least
So can't we put them
show
on?
them that, hey,
Well,
we're taking that, you know,
I'll
we're taking
answer
back
it
the
in this
reins.
sense. It's like we have our own nation right now.
Because we
What
gotta
we
stop
need
the
to do-
traffic. All the traffic is going to them. We have
That's
to
true.
stand in the way of the
But-
traffic.
The thing is, we have to worry about our nation. Worry about how we bring our traffic in here.
Even in
We
that,
stopping their traffic is going into
That's
their
double the
nation,
work.
Yeah.
right?
not specifically here,
Yeah.
but like in this district, but in our nation we have Moors who are
We have more.
MPs and
Mhm.
part of city council and
Yeah.
those type of
Yeah,
things. And
we send writs out to them
they could
already.
only do so much themselves.
They
Like
know
some of them,
it.
they come to meetings and they go back to their corporate job and
Yeah.
deal with
They know
politics
it.
and government and rate, but they can't. What can they do?
I send out, for instance, this week alone, I sent out,
They're already in this.
I sent out an email to at least 75 heads of states, like premiers, mayors, and
How many mayors and how many those guys,
from-
so-called leaders, are in Toronto? Because if there's 20 of them, then there needs to
35
be 20
of
more
them.
there instead.
35 of
You get what
them,
I'm
35
saying?
MPs I sent out this letter to this week alone. I'll be
Right.
sending it out next week. I'm going to be sending it out to everybody here so that everybody here could send it out as well.
But what if we can't say that we want to assist?
Sorry?
We want to show up and volunteer our time to learn off of them, how they're running their thing, and then
Or
slowly.
That's it.
It's
how
35 of them, right?
Yeah.
So there's 35 of us,
Mhm.
and then we slowly make our way and work in each of those buildings until we,
The
you know what I'm saying?
problem is that that's a separate.
Because it's still the taxpayer, and the blah blah blah, all of that money. It's still our money that was used to build all those stuff, and we're not even just gonna give up nothing. They didn't give up nothing. They're never gonna give up anything with.
No, but there's a way to live within it. There's a way to live within contract. No, that you think that. What do you want to explain?
Like,
There's-
okay, for, like,
You know, for
I
instance,
understand what
you
you're
do
saying,
an
like, we
affidavit,
got
right?
to
You have an
say-
affidavit, right?
Here we
They
go.
have
do
millions of
affidavits
dollars and
and
all types
most-
of promotions and everybody and
Okay.
getting my grandmother and my mother and everybody going their way,
Mhm.
right? We don't really have those things, right? So I'm saying we might as
Yeah,
well
well, we do
use
have
what they're
we do
using.
have
We
those
do
things.
have those things.
Because we have the truth.
Yeah, so we're gonna when we use what they're using instead of totally here we go again abandoning their stuff that we taught them.
No, but
Or
it's
our
not. It's
stuff
not.
that we
It's
taught
not.
them.
It's not an abandonment of their stuff. It's a reclamation of our stuff.
Yes.
That's in their possession.
And they're
Because
using it.
if we're trying to advertise, I'm not saying that we are, or whatever, we're trying to get the crowd or the wave to come back over our way. You know much money and power and everything that they have backing them to keep that wave going that way?
No, for sure.
That's what I mean. So if we're gonna go up against that, we're not gonna win. If we merge into it and take it over like that.
No, but why would we want to? Why would we that are clean and pure merge into something that's dirty and
stronger
deplorable?
than dirty. We clean dirty stuff.
Okay, but if you're clean, right, and you know that you can have a shower anytime, that doesn't mean you're just gonna jump into the mud just because you can go have a shower. Just because we can have a shower, you're not just gonna jump in the mud just because.
Yeah,
No, there's ways, listen,
but everybody else is dirty that we care about. They're all in the mud right now, man.
So opposed to going in the mud to get them out, how about just tell them to get out of the mud? Or show them where the water is.
Yeah.
So
and then if they want the water, they'll come get it.
Look,
if they
for
don't want the
instance-
water, then stay
Brother,
dirty.
They're not gonna want. They're gonna want what they want because they have our people in mind.
Brother. I'm just gonna express this one thing. I went to school, like I said, and I provided them with an affidavit, right? When I went there, this principal is telling me that this is basically BS because there's no seal, there's no nothing. So basically, in his world, what he's asking is to go see a lawyer or commissioner, get the stamp by this other society I want nothing to do with,
Yeah.
which is a law society. I don't need that.
Yeah.
So just by putting your thumbprint, you know, gluing and witnesses, you can have your own affidavit, which is a legal, lawful document. Right? That's our way now. We don't need to run to their
That's the
system
right way.
to get this done. So I'm going there and I'm showing him. Just like that. In his dirty world. Right? So this is the way you have to find a way within to do things our way and incorporate it, which is like, that's how it is.
I'm just saying, okay,
You know?
they have this big ghetto blaster, like everything, loud noise, everybody's going that way. And we're over here whispering, like a pin is louder than us.
But
Right?
that's
How much
been for
how
a
much
long time.
people,
But that's
how much
assumption.
people are we gonna
Because
really, I'm
what?
bringing this is a metaphor. And
No,
how much people are we
no,
gonna
no.
really
But check this.
rope
right?
in that way?
Check this,
Because
right?
people
What
are
is
gonna
that
die
way though?
before
What
that
is that way?
Check this. Right? Check this, right? See all these proclamations on the wall
Yeah.
from European mayors, right? Who agree about what we're saying.
Yeah.
All right. Now there's about 12 or 13 proclamations from 13 mayors all over.
Yeah, they
Right?
agree, but then
Agreeing. Hold on a second. They're agreeing, right? It's public record that they agree. It's not even no argument. It's public record that they agree.
how much?
How come black people,
Yeah.
right? Negro people, African
Yeah.
leaders, New Black Panther Party, and all these people, how come
Yeah.
they're not talking about those proclamations?
Because they're too busy sitting on their wherever they are, because they've been trained that way to watch BT, all of these things that's feeding information on their lap like that. So they're not gonna get up to come and find that stuff. They don't read most of them. Most of them are. You get what I'm saying? We don't know this.
So
right?
if that's the case,
It's
right?
easy to know this stuff when
So-
we're awake, but these
so-
guys are sleeping and they're never gonna just
So
find
if
it how
people are
they're not
if
gonna
people
look
are
up no
sleeping,
proclamation, nothing.
right? If people are sleeping, if your mom's sleeping, and you say get up, fire, and she's sleeping, and you say get up, fire, and she's sleeping, what are you gonna do next?
I guess I have to go.
You better uplift her.
Yes.
No, I'm saying, if I stay there and lift her, she's gonna get mad. She's gonna get mad. They're gonna get mad, right? No matter what, right?
What he's saying is, so what do? You have to do what you have to do.
Yeah, so I have to leave.
Yeah.
It's not about
I'll
them.
tell you,
Right, it's about
the good in
So what are you gonna do?
it's a good in
you gotta do you.
Dust
What
your
you
feet
gonna
off and leave them behind.
Right? Like for example, there's times when, and many people in here can vouch, right? There's times when we have class, you know what I mean? 5,000 flyers, go around all over the city, give out flyers to everybody. 5 people come to class. A month of you know, so-called advertisement. Just like what all these guys are doing out here. But we realize that quality over quantity.
Yes.
We don't want any and everybody out there to come into this.
But they're made like that. They're all quality too, but they're made to be like that.
And again, you know what I mean? Come out of the streets. Right? Individuals been locked up. Came out and something goes off in your head that you're gonna change how you do stuff. Right? So it's just automatic. Something's gonna go off. You get your ass kicking off, eventually you're gonna say, okay, you know what? I need to stop getting my ass kicked and I need to do something different, because all I do is get my ass kicked. If you're just gonna keep getting ass kicked, then you got mental problems, which majority of people, that's the state that they're in.
It's not their fault.
Well, we can't do anything about those people. If they're that out there,
Yeah.
if they're that damaged.
Most people, you say most black people, don't say
Right.
most people.
Well,
Because they,
oh, yeah.
because like I say, when the Jews have their thing, they do their thing.
Right, right.
It's black people. I
Right.
won't call them Moors because they're not.
Yes, yes.
Black people. Just say that.
Yeah.
They won't even
So
say
if you're
that.
going to church, if you're bringing up a church, they're running to go. If you're bringing up a concert, they're running to go. If you, like I said, if you're singing on the street, they're ready to go.
Yeah. That's what they're looking for.
But if a basketball game, LeBron James is coming, they're giving out tickets.
Oh, yeah.
They're ready to go. But when it comes down to knowledge and uplifting yourself, I'm not into that. I've been through what he's saying. I've been through my whole family, all the brothers I grew up with, same thing. I'm not into that, right? I'm not into that. I don't believe in that. I said, well, you better believe in it because they believe in you.
That's what I'm gonna say too. Like,
So-
you don't want to call them Moors, but they're still Moors.
Well, they are Moors.
Yeah, but
what I'm saying is you have to let them
still
go.
that.
You have to let them go.
Yeah.
Of course they're Moors, but you have to let them go.
But to answer, to sum this all up, we gotta stay in the principle that we're really here for the young and unborn. And why we're talking about all these
Yeah,
other,
so yes, give up on everybody else now.
well, not really give up, but we're really here for the young and unborn, because what we were talking about earlier, now going to school, they're learning grade levels. If they come to more science, they're learning degree levels that take them out of the affected mind state that we're in. So we start learning degrees, then we start learning the science of what really is of reality, instead of a grade saying, this is what this is, but you don't know what the word means. We're telling you you're black, but you don't even know what the word black means. More science teaches you what the word black means. So these young people are in a degree level of degree of knowledge. That's why instead of waiting to go to university to learn degrees, they already have the degrees from the very beginning. So we're not in this state of mind that we're in to try to figure out what the mess is in the first place, because the mess in the second place is we don't know thyself to even be ourselves, to even bring anybody back home to be themselves, because everybody here is not everybody here are trying to find themselves. But even when we're not, that's why we can't let go of all these different things, like you said, LeBron James tickets, or because we're caught by the illusion of what we think is reality, instead of the real reality that we are wealthier and the richest people on the planet, in the globe, that we supersede anything that calls money, because there is no such thing as money, because it's just resources that we're using that they're selling back to us, like this nigger industry. They're trying to tell us how to be niggers. So we start acting like niggers and doing nigger shit. And then we get locked up from being niggers. But we don't even know who the nigger really is anymore, or what a nigger really is. But if we knew the science and degrees of what a nigger is, well, we wouldn't even be that. Yeah, it wouldn't vibrate to us. That's all I want to say.
Could I just add something?
Yes,
Sorry.
Yes, it's okay.
No problem.
I'm just gonna add some spiritual perspective, okay? I summed up 3 things here. One is a free will. We are here is to experience our own free will. We don't need to worry about what other people do or don't do. It's your journey. If you keep telling your family, your friend what they should do or should not do, you warping their spiritual opportunity. It's their growth. They need to go to what they need to go to. If in the sleeping moon or the dead moon or whatever it is, it's their journey. That's what their soul come to on earth to experience.
Yes.
But you only can inspire them and sharing with them. You could not pushing them. If you pushing them, you are robbing other people free will.
Yes.
You just need to understand that it's all about free will. That's what we are here for.
But you know, most of those people.
Second.
After she's finished, I want to say something on that.
Second, it's all about here to heal ourselves. We are here to heal ourselves so we could heal others, so we could help others. But if we do not get heal our own self to deal with our own shit, we cannot helping other people. We cannot heal other people. Okay? So the third is be the change. Just be yourself, be who you want to be, what your soul desire. Don't count for other people to come along. Don't tell other people they should have to eat shit or do shit as like you do. Just do what you want to do, and that's that period.
Yes.
That's what 3 missions we are here to accomplish.
No, you're right.
Now 4.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, now what I want to say to what you're saying.
Islam to what you
Islam. Yep. Now listen, I want to say something on that on the spiritual. Since we're getting spiritual, now the spirits are in here. I want to tell you something on that. You're exactly right to what you're saying, but if that hadn't been interrupted with any influence of interrupting our natural flow. Our natural flow, you're exactly right. But we have somebody using our science to direct our natural flow from our true spirit of experience of being here. There's somebody, something that's trying to control.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
To push us away from this experience to be ourselves.
Yeah.
So this is what Moorish science is, to teaching us how to come back to the full of humanity, to experience what you're trying to say. But right now, we don't even know that because there's somebody shifting that energy of status quo, pretending to be us, and we're pretending to be them. So it can't even happen, even if we went that way that you're saying.
Hello.
Do you see what I'm saying now? Because nobody's telling anybody what to do, but we don't even know. We're so confused right now because we're not being ourselves. The status quo, black and white, is a status. We got somebody that's corralling us to be something else that we're not. So we can't even let our spirit be what it was really meant to be, to experience whatever it is to be, a higher self, lower self, or whatever.
Yeah, but that depends on who you feel has more power. If you feel someone has that much power to be able to corral you or to be able to stop your flow, then you allow that to happen.
Islam, sis. But what I'm trying to say is, watch this.
You give your own free will away.
Yeah, but I'm not just talking about us individuals right here. I'm talking on a global mass Asiatic influence of the population of the first civilization no longer know who they are. I'm not talking about us right here.
We're included too.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
no, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But on the overall, what you were trying to say, how do we bring the masses home? How do we wake them up and all that stuff? That's why I said we're really here for the young and unborn, and then we get distracted with all this other distractions out here. How we gonna do this? How we gonna do that? Like I said, we don't need to reinvent the wheel. The prophet brought us the science to wake us back up, and he's the prophet because we are here after 50 years or more talking about this again and doing something.
Yeah, so I feel impatient.
Yes.
So it's like,
And
I just want to make my mind up. Do I want to help? Keep talking to these people or just...
You mean being active?
Because I'm like that. Whatever I make my mind, I just like making my mind up. Am I going left or right? If I go right, I'm not thinking about left.
Well, you know, there's an old
song
that used to say, if the spirit moves you, let it groove you.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't even have to even make your mind up. If the spirit moves you, let it groove you.
So how
so I guess
no. But see, that's the spirit that what she was trying to talk about. But the spirit is being directed through a different energy channel. That somebody's controlling our science, the high science, like Brother Cujo was talking about earlier. That they're using our science on us, and we're blaming them because we don't want to use our own science and be ourselves. And this is what happens.
Oral statements by the prophet. Holy Prophet said, I'm going to stop the European from thinking and start you, the Moors, to thinking for your own good. Every word I speak is spirit, and you Moors had better heed. The Holy Prophet said, what are all these people doing here? There is only going to be a handful saved. I can count them on my fingers and have fingers left over. In regard to, we talk about with all these other people. Right? Only a handful is going to be saved anyways. Because you can't save everybody. The European will not be able to remove all the wealth from the land. After he goes back to Europe, mountains of gold will be revealed to the Moors. The European is going to have to pay our people off for the work that they did in slavery and pay off in compounded interest. Brother I. Cook Bay, Grand Governor of Illinois, told Brother R. Love L., GS of MSTA, and Brother C. Tyson Bay, Chairman of the MSTA, about the time when the Holy Prophet Noble Drew Ali and Brother C. Kirkman Bay went to the Pan American Conference in 1928. At that time, the Holy Prophet went there and represented the Moors, and there was an Indian chief representing the American Indians. The conference was in Havana, Cuba, and the nations of both North, South, and Central America were present. Secretary of State Hughes of the United States represented the United States at this conference. Brother C. Kirkman Bay, who spoke 92 different languages, was the interpreter of the Holy Prophet at this conference. Brother I. Cook Bay said that when the Holy Prophet and Brother C. Kirkman Bay's ship was tied up at the dock, the Cuban army was standing on the dock, and Brother Kirkman Bay said something to them in Spanish, and the army came to attention. Then he and the Holy Prophet came down from the ship. At the conference, Brother C. Kirkman Bay addressed the conference in both Spanish and Arabic, and when the Secretary of State of the United States heard Brother Kirkman Bay speak, he said, "That's a dangerous man." Up to that period of time, the United States received a 50-year mandate for this land. At this conference, the mandate for this land was given to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Brothers G. Cook Bay of Temple 1 said that the Prophet Noble Drew Ali showed us the mandate in the attic chamber. Brother T. Booker Bay, Grand National Treasurer, said that when in a meeting where the Holy Prophet was present, he saw 10 Arabians, 5 Turks, 2 Chinese, and 1 Japanese join the Moorish Science Temple of America. And the secretary asked the Holy Prophet Noble Drew Ali, "Prophet, these people have got their nationality. What should I put on their nationality card?" The Prophet said the Moors were the first people, and all other people that use our name were adopted into our tribe. Brother J. Blakely Bay said, the Holy Prophet said, "It will take 50 years to find out what I brought you. And if you are not careful, 50 years after I am gone, you wouldn't know that I have been here."
Islam.
The Holy Prophet told the Moors, "Don't throw away your slave names, because we have a birthright under them. For the work that our ancestors did in slavery time, we will be paid for this and with compounded interest." The Holy Prophet told the Moors, "Get a good European education. I can use you."
Say that one again. Education.
Yeah. The Holy Prophet told the Moors, "Get a good European education and I can use you." And then the only reason you get the good education, European education, because it's really a Moorish education. Because we taught the Europeans everything that they know.
Islam.
So it's not like we're selling out if we have a good European education. If we have the European education, but we use it to uplift the European side, then yeah, we're agents.
And
But if
that-
we use the European education to uplift the Moorish side,
Yeah.
right, then we're doing something with it.
And the one about the government.
I think that's what the kind of brother was trying to insinuate as well, like going into their structure, infrastructure,
Yeah.
which is really ours,
Yeah,
and going in to come back to benefit our nation.
right, right.
The prophet mentions that.
Prophet mentions,
To be into government long enough.
yeah.
Yeah.
Keep the Europeans around long enough to teach us government.
Brother T. Booker Bay said that the Holy Prophet said, I like good peas and beans. I'm going to save 8% of the Europeans because they are good farmers. Bless.
That would be the Amish.
Sister M. Howell L. of Temple 19 said that the Holy Prophet told the Moors, I brought you your nationality, your religion, and title to your vast estate. What do you want me to do, kill you? Brother T. Booker Bay said that the Holy Prophet told the Moors, I'm going to let the fire scorch some of my good Moors. Nobody's not escaping judgment when it kicks off. Brother T. Booker Bay said that the Holy Prophet told the Moors, in 2 weeks I'm going down south. When I get down there, the Ku Klux Klan is going to stop me. At first it's going to look like they are against me, then they are going to lead me to where I'm going. Sister A. Brown L. of Temple 4 and 25 said the Holy Prophet said, your nationality card is going to change in your pocket.